Hello, everyone. It's Darlene Corbett again, the Unstuck expert. More about the imagination to help you get unstuck. A couple of things I want to talk about today. One is what we thought about when we were children and how those dreams and our imagination sometimes can be useful going forward. For many children, it was enchanting. For others, it was survival. So let's start with the positive first. How about that? Well, it's all positive, but let's start with the enchanting. I'm going to share with you what I imagined as a child. And I had to think about this. I wrote a little bit, I wrote a chapter actually for a book. I don't even talk about it because it's a long story, but it doesn't matter. I will pull from this chapter eventually in my own writings. But I remember as a little girl, I was a female baseball player. I was in love with baseball. I still like baseball. I don't watch it hardly anymore. But I think baseball is so amazing because you see, so many people think it's boring. And I guess it can be at times, but I never thought so. I was always excited about what was going to happen next. Oh, yes, the pitching and the hitting or the striking out, pitching balls, monotony. But you always knew, or you hope, should I say, because it's not always the case, there would be a game changer for your team. I actually had the privilege of going to Fenway Park with my dad when I was 10 years old. Fenway it's just amazing. The excitement was in the air. I was in the grandstand with my dad. I think it was the only little girl there. There were little boys with their dads. There might have been one other girl. I'm 10 years old. This is 52 years ago. So I can't quite recall. Almost 50, yeah, almost 53. Time flies. But I remember being on the bus with my dad, and we went to Fenway. And Tony Canigliaro, he was quite the prominent Red Sox player. They thought he was the next Ted Williams. He was so good. Unfortunately, the year before I saw him play, that it was the year after the pennant. They won the pennant in 1967. He was not there because he'd been injured, but he came back briefly, and I got to see him play. It was a real treat. I talk about baseball because getting back to what did I imagine? That I would be a female baseball player. I can see the picture of my imagination to this day. I think I forgot about it temporarily, but I remember. And the funny thing is, my hair was very dark for most of my life. I came in with the world with almost black hair, curly. And I imagine myself with my color hair now. Isn't that funny? Who knew? I had no idea it'd be lighter or straighter. Who knew? Here, but I remember that enchanting dream, though. Obviously, that did not come to fruition. There are no female baseball players, and that's fine. There's softball players, but I wasn't very good at throwing a softball. But what I was good should I say, was imagining something, imagining the possibilities, even if it was impossible. Well, the Red Sox used the impossible dream for their pennant theme, pennant song, the song for the theme. I talk about because our imaginations are vast, especially as children. They are often unencumbered by other information coming in. When I was in 7th grade, I was part of this little yearbook team. My role was we came up with different roles, and I came up with the idea of looking into my crystal ball and seeing where people were going to go when they became adults. It was fun. I think I have it somewhere still. I say, in my crystal ball, I see. It was fun to use our imaginations back then. And I think we can still draw upon them. If you remember some of your dreams as a child or thoughts, think about writing them down. Now, briefly, I'm going to talk, and I'll talk about this more tomorrow, is some children use their imaginations to survive, as some adults do. Sadly, children who are physically and especially sexually abused, sexually abused, often dissociate. It's dissociation. It's a daydream. With his daydreams, we look upon imagination. Those daydreams And that imagination protected those children. Those children survived because of those dreams, daydreams, imagination, so they can go to another place during that act of horror. The imagination is very, very, very much a gift, whether it be to enchant us, whether it be to protect us. We must always value it and not forget it. Perhaps, for example, I never became a female baseball player, even if it was for women. I'm only 4'11". I don't think I would have made any team, and that's okay. I really don't have a problem being short. I think I did when I was younger, but I didn't feel short, if that makes any sense. Maybe I had my imagination that I was a taller girl. I don't know. But I want you to think about, how did your imagination serve you as a child? Did it enchant you? Did it protect you? Are there ways to use it now if you're feeling stuck? Can you revisit your imagination? Maybe write down, I always say that, I know, write down some ideas that your imagination can deliver. Writing it down operationalizes what's going on up here. I truly believe the imagination is the key to helping us reset our mindset and get unstuck. You have to keep practicing it though. But imagine, and again, draw upon your childhood if it served you enchantingly or protectively or both. How about that? Tomorrow we'll talk more about the protective mode and talk about another sense that we often forget about, okay? All right, when the student is ready, the teacher appears. Here I am, here I'll be, and I will continue humbly to be a student. Please visit DarleneCorbett.com. Also, go to my articles on Biz Catalyst 360. I'm very, very grateful to Dennis Potoko for publishing them. I think you'll find them, well, they will get you to think. You don't have to agree with them. How about that?